Live. Just giving a little update. I'll get some time for some people to get into the room before I get into it. Um, just about the shortages and all the mess after everything's been wreaked havoc upon from disease, and then those people being out of work, and then the supply chain, and then the lack of containers, and then the fact that something happened magical to a ship that made it a container ship a while back that made it lose power and do some type of a figure eight looking float pattern and then go into the canal, the Suez Canal. So I believe it's Suez. So just I'm going to give a little bit of time for some people to get into the room. We'll talk about the things that are fixing to be harder to get in the United States. And for the rest of the world too, because it's an issue everywhere. Mostly because the places that are creating things, they've had COVID outbreaks. Some people have died, in countries, and then of course that creates shortage of workers. But mostly, it's because of this stay-at-home pandemic that was created to, let people into every country that have the disease, but then tell people they have to stay at home to try to stop it. If they wanted to stop it in the first place, they wouldn't have lied to us, and they would have done a full military quarantine. That was needed. No, they wanted this to spread because they figured eventually it'd get us. They wanted to do it all at once, and they wanted it to spread worldwide. They wanted the people to get it, to create what they call herd immunity, but they wound up getting it anyhow. Luckily, it turned out to be not so bad. And I won't talk about the vaccines because, the vaccinery of it all. I've got a whole playlist on that. People, I hope you're doing good. But we're fixing to encounter some disruptions that could really cripple us, especially because of the fact that we're now ordering so much stuff online. They're threatening, is what I'll call it, okay, doing a mock scenario. Dabu7 put up something on it. Dabu77, you gotta check his stuff out, but I'll try to put a link up on it, but I found it somewhere else also. I've seen it a few places. But basically, it seems coincidence, just a coincidence, that they did a mock thing on if a virus attacked, and then all of a sudden a virus attacked, right? Well, then, or was let loose, is what it was. And then the same thing now, they're doing a mock thing of what if we lost the internet. No, they're going to shut it off. They've been planning this for years. It's something that is, information is spreading too quickly, too fast. They can't control the information. They can't edit it. I don't know if you've ever watched Good Morning Vietnam, but that was the best example of how information is censored and controlled before it ever gets to people. That's just the truth of that. So we don't know what's happening tomorrow, but they do. Or we don't know what's going to happen next week, but they do. But they think, hey, look, we just want to tell, that don't sound good and pretty. Let's go to live to the puppies and kittens cam. And they rescued a cat from why'd the cat get up in the first place? You know what I'm saying? It's what happened to survival of the fittest for real. And if you do save an animal, why is it news over and above that we're going to have a tire shortage? Right, people? So I'm going to get to some real news. All right. Currently, well, let's just go back in time. It's about the tires. Okay. Henry Ford realized that there was a need for natural tree rubber. They use natural tree rubber. It has to be 100% on airplanes. On their tires, it has to be 100% natural rubber. The older tires, if you look at new old stock I helped to work on a Stanley steamer once, okay? Old vehicle, wagon, wooden wheels with rubber tires. Those tires are just as new today as they were the day they were built. They don't degrade. They're awesome tires, okay? They look like a bicycle, a really large bicycle, but they're good rubber. Well, Um, that's how they used to make all tires. Then they found out the vulcanization process of how to actually make synthetic mixed with natural rubber, but they still use natural rubber. And for latex, and for gloves, and for the stringy things on your mask, and you know, rubber bands and everything. Well, okay, back then he says, you know what? We're going to need tires. I'm going to build a plant in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. So he did. The problem was he didn't know anything about growing rubber tree plants. They have to be, I think it was like 6 to 15 feet apart, something like that each, or they would kill each other. They'd all die. And this is exactly what happened. Now, we've learned nothing from his mistake. Nothing. Because right now there's a blight, a disease, that because the rubber trees are too close together, they're all withering and they're all going to die. And there's a problem with production, and there's also the problem with lack of the ability to produce it because of the COVID thing, and because of I guess either people died or people got sick and didn't go back to work, or they can't find people to work, and that kind of thing. The whole stay home restrictions, whatever. And then even if they get them back now, there's this big gap. It's like a siphon. If you turn it off, you have to restart the siphon. Okay. So right now, we have this is just one of the shortages. There's a few. We have a shortage because of the plants that are fixing to have a shortage, and also because of the supply to the market from the factory, that they get it like maple syrup. Like they tap the tree, it drips into a container, they pour it into a bigger container, and then they add some stuff to it, and then they gel it and cut it up and let it dry and whatever. So the trees aren't going to produce. There's going to be a shortage of supply because they can't get shipping containers. Because there was nothing going back to China, and we weren't producing anything and going back to other countries, there was no reason to send containers, and it costs money to send empties. There was a problem, and we weren't ordering anything. And there was a shortage. There's a shortage of empty shipping containers. This causes a hard time for the people to get rubber for tires shipped to the U.S. So we started using airplanes. It's a little more expensive, so that's going to make the price go up. Instead of the slow boat from China or to China, it's a fast airplane, but it costs more because rubber's heavy. All right, jet fuel's not cheap. Going further from that, there's about to be a problem that's going to make it not only cost more, but be hard to get rubber for tires. They're dancing all around it. They're saying, oh, well, we currently don't have. No, we're fixing to have a shortage. So if you have a car and you've been thinking about getting tires, it might be a good idea to get it. The reason it's going to mess with our supply chain is because of all of the people that drive around and deliver to houses now, the Amazons of it all, and trucks. But we got a pretty good supply of some truck tires in this country, but they will go up because they'll charge you more for the older tires they've already bought, because it's going to cost them more to replace them later. The price goes up. It's to cover their cost of buying more, or they'd be out of business, even though they can make a bunch of money selling their tires. So they hit the consumer with it. All right, so if you have a car, especially if you're like into the 17, 18, 19 tire size range, you might want to get a little thought going. Hey, do I have a full size spare? Do I have a spare? And do I need new steers or whatever, and get that alignment done so it don't burn them up? Because there's going to be a shortage, and it's cheaper now, way cheaper right now today than it's fixing to be. The price is going to go through the roof on tires. All right, just like plywood did. Now plywood's coming back down. This is something I was going to talk about. It's going to have to come back down because people are like, I ain't buying that crap until you knock the price down to something reasonable. $100 a sheet, $90 a sheet. No, it should be 15, 20, 26. Some of them, if it's sanded both sides and special, birch or something or whatever, that could be like, 30 to 40. But regular pine plywood, 3/8, 5/16, ½ inch, 5/8, all of it should be so much cheaper than what it is. It doesn't cost that much to make, and they know it, and they had it sitting there at the rail yard. They upped the price because they knew there was a shortage of work and this kind of stuff. So, okay, trees didn't quit growing. Going from there, the microchip issue that made car prices go through the roof is going to make used car prices go down because there'll be more of a supply and they can get more for cheaper. They were having a hard time with that. All right, and they're talking about a possible. There's already people that are hacking all these companies. And they're talking about an internet downage. I think they're going to throw the switch. I think that this channel here, everybody with internet, email, all kinds of things are going to be shut off. I think it's stupid. They're wargaming everything, and then they send something in there to do it. And they would like to just turn back on, just the necessary things. Oh, you don't need the Facebook of it all. Oh, you don't need the Twitter and the whatever they use, Instagram and photo. What are those things? TikTok and all that. And they're going to go back and rethink everything of what they want to give us. Are we deserving? This is where I'm at on this. And you watch what happens. This will be gone. It'll all be gone. So when they shut it down and then they come back, it's because it's the servers can only handle. They'll come up with some kind of lie, and they'll lie to you, and then they'll talk about the puppies and kittens they raised and got out of a tree or whatever, So when it happens that you lose internet, don't expect to get much back when they so-called fix it. Expect at some point they're going to attack us with our power. They've already attacked water. This is Russia and China, but mostly Russia. They've already attacked our water and used ransomware against all of our companies. All these companies got hit with ransomware, and somehow magical, it's all these, important companies, and they've lost all kinds of, and it's going to cost them millions in ransomware. You have to pay it. Now, how come we don't have hackers here that are ransomwaring Russia? Because our government wouldn't cover for them. The Russian government's covering for who they are, their location, and of course they are. Of course they are. They're going to lie till all their objectives are met. And this dude's fixing to be famous right here. Check him out. So, he don't even know it, but he's famous. Everybody wants to be in my video, except me. So, all right. Going further, basically, I believe it was East Germany. I could be wrong, but they basically just got attacked on the internet, and it shut down all kinds of companies over there. They've got it's a mess, and I'm sure that was Russia, because you got East and West Germany. Look at it. Even Kennedy was saying, hey, if you want to know the difference between communism and capitalism, tell them to come to Berlin. Tell them to look over the wall. Tell them to look at both sides and see which economic model benefits people. On that side, they got no toilet paper, no food, no nothing. They're starving, whatever, and they're dying to get over here. On this side, and they tore down the wall, but Russia still treats it both ways. They still have a divide there. They still have animosity towards the Germans. By the way they're doing things now, I'm sure that's part of that. So, okay. If they don't shut down the internet, and if you can still order stuff, you may not be able to get your tires, so get those. expect them to attack our power grid because they've already attacked our water. They attacked some water companies, and it's just like a I don't know if you call it a trifecta or a quadfecta. I appreciate the like too. Yeah, see that. So there's our supply chain, there's communications, there's water, and there's power, and there's gas, natural gas, and then there's also regular gasoline. They've already attacked the pipeline. They've shown that they could. That was proof of concept. Basically, it's look what we could do. They could shut it all down at once if they wanted to. And yes, it's Russia. And yes, it's their hackers. Their ones. Okay, the banner that they put up behind Putin making fun of Obama, and he looked around and smirked at it. He could have had 1,000 troops on that and had that taken down. No, of course they knew that was going to happen. It was a timed event for the minute that they were going to hit the camera. Saying hi from Cincinnati. All right, then. John Scott, what's up? So, people, angels, everybody. I don't want to leave nobody out. You can leave comments now if you want, but just know that you might want to check your tires. You might want to check your alignment. You might want to get some because it's fixing to hit. I've got the news report that I can give you a link to where the news has already talked about it 2 days ago, but then they talk about it, they bury it. I didn't have time 2 days ago to go live, but I do now. Quick little something. And I'm giving you the heads up. I fully expect them to shut down the internet because they're talking about it just like they was talking about, oh, well, what if, and let's role play and let's see if what would be affected if we shut off the internet. A bunch of people. Because in tough times when we're already dealing with going to work and possibly getting a deadly infection of a virus they created to kill people, okay, right up there with sarin gas or freaking anthrax or any other stuff. We're all struggling with money because of the fact that they shut down the economy for a bit. And on top of that, the stress of that, and then you're going to tell us, oh, now it's going to be a hard time getting tires. And then they want to mess around and jack around and take the internet. If they take the internet, I mean, they're talking about if they force vaccinations, there'd be a revolt. Just if people lose their Facebook and can't put up a picture of their cat sitting pretty, they're going to be a revolt. The people will go insane. They'll go insane. No more connection to, like they were talking about when they shut off the power, and they were saying if it killed somebody, oh well, there goes Grandma Millie. That's what they said. That's how they think. That was Enron. Look it up in California. So, hola, what's up, Icon? So, Icon, we were just talking about tire shortages. It's going to happen, dude. They're dancing around it. It's going to happen. Also, they're going to shut down the internet. That's going to happen. Also, we're going to be attacked. Everything right up into, and then the last will be our power grid. It's going to happen. Oh, and it'll be magical hackers that are so good that they can be in the middle of Russia and not be found by a government that is based on spying. Their president is an ex-spy. He was in the KGB. Okay? Their whole model is make up stories and lies that sound good in about 20% of your time, and then put that into newspapers in the middle of nowhere, and then we'll bounce it around and then bring it back up and say that this happened and whatever, to be against our adversaries, which is the US. And then the rest of the time it's go poison this person, go poison that person, and then they die. And then spy, and tell on your neighbor. And by the way, when you're not telling your neighbor, tell on your neighbor. That's their model. You think they can't figure out who some hackers are? Give me a freaking break. They know everything about everyone. They know how many people are in towns that are poor, and they go and they tell the kids, hey, sign up for this job right here as a mercenary. They send them into freaking Syria to get killed. Don't tell nobody about nothing. That's what they do. They know every person in their country, every one of them. You can't go from one state to another. one country to another, one area to another, without papers. It's always been like that. They actually came out with a program on television to show them how beautiful different places in Russia are, because they're never going to let them go there. The program was very successful. They liked it on television. What's up, WD? Maybe that's why it says WD. See here, yeah. So, yeah, prices on everything are going up, Icon. So, yeah, that's why the whole gulag system was built. Any dissent, any whisper of dissent, straight to the gulag. Gulag was a bunch of different camps up in Siberia where they send political dissidents, political rivals, or anybody they just want to, and they either froze to death there, or they worked and they would be there how many years, and they might get a reprieve. Well, it's actually where our troops went too, if you ask me. This is just opinion. Some of them from Vietnam took a straight trip there. Some of them before that, in World War II, when we met up with the Russians, they were supposed to actually bring us our prisoners of war. Instead, they wound up going up there and building the Trans-Siberian roadway, which they did a crappy job on purpose, which was awesome. You should see it. They can barely pass it. So, there's a lot to Russia, and they know everybody there. There is no unknowing. There is no not knowing. They got cameras. They got people. They got spies everywhere. And my personal opinion is, honestly, anybody from over there, since they can't even move without papers, is involved with it if they're over here. This is my opinion. That's why we had to kick a bunch of them out of our government, out of our as political. Oh man, they were. See, I search for words sometimes. They were. Oh man, embassy people. You know, those kind of people. They were ambassadors. So, we had to send them back because we had proof of them spying. It's like, bring them over here till they spy. They didn't prove it, and then, but they now have a list of everybody that worked for the government ever, of our government. They have a list because of their spying. Some of them were outed. Some of them had to resign. A lot of them were under that Havana thing, Havana syndrome. Well, they attacked them. They attacked some in Washington. We're in a war, people. I'm just having a salad. I'm kicking back, trying to watch the show and trying to live in it. But be aware. And don't have any doubt, we're in a war. It's not a war in your mind or for your mind, just with the info. It is an actual full-blown war. And, you know, the only bombing going on is proxies here and there. So it's not what you would call conventional. And they're saying that they're going to do this asymmetrical warfare crap. Russia's saying this, that they're going to, if we do this, they do that and whatever. And they're doing stuff the whole time with all these, I'm gonna call them proxy hackers. That's a new word. I think I just coined it, a proxy hacker. That's what it is. Run with that, people. Call them proxy hackers. I was putting up on the internet spy much for the ones I catch, but proxy hackers. And they're hackers by proxy, and it's pseudo warfare, just short of war. It's like, hey, let's turn off the gas to this country, and hey, let's not supply them in the winter. That's what they did with Georgia. Then they fought them in Georgia, and then they had the people from Georgia who were fighting them there in Russia, Georgia, that country. They're fighting them in Ukraine. Well, they're able to reach out and turn off our systems because they're hooked up to the internet. How about this? Instead of turning off the people's internet, how about turn off the municipality's internet? How about tell them, no, you're going to have to physically drive down there to check and see if the water pump's working, because we're going to turn that crap off the internet because we want it to continue to pump if Russia attacks the internet of that company. I mean, it don't take a genius to understand that a hand valve, a big cranking wheel, okay, can be turned by hand, and pay somebody to sit there so we don't lose our water, because a computer telling it to do this or that shuts it off if they tell it to. That's no good. It's no good if we lose power. We need to insulate or isolate our power grid from outside internet sources. It needs to be intranet. Somebody needs to go down there and physically get off their duff and go into work and sit behind a desk, and they need to man that desk 24/7, so if there's an issue they could throw a switch. Not that Russia can throw a switch from 7,000 miles away or what, right? No, they don't want to do that, but they need to. I think that someone in Congress needs to wake up and say, hey, look, if you are running a power structure, someone needs to be manning it, and it needs to be intranet, not internet. It does not need to be hooked up to the worldwide anything. Not dark web, not regular www, not .net, not anything, or .gov, none of it. And there needs to be restricted access. Is that not a good idea? How come they can have a security guard at the main gate of places to keep people from physically going out, but the internet's wide open for them to shut the whole plant down? What kind of genius designed that? It's these engineers. It's the same ones that designed a paper roller where you could go into the bathroom and wash your hands, and you put your hand under a machine, and it's supposed to spit out paper unless one of 5 things happens. Unless it's out of paper, right? Most times the batteries are dead. The batteries are dead, just like the sinks. Batteries are dead. Can't get paper. There used to be a stick in the bathroom with a roll of paper towels on it, and it worked fine. The stick never broke. It was made of steel. It was welded to a metal plate, and you put a roll of paper towels on it. And then what'd you do? You pulled the paper and you ripped off what you needed. It was there or it was out, and they would replace it because they would see it. You know what? Oh, I don't have a key to that box or whatever, right? No. You didn't need a key. It was a stick. So you put the paper towel on there and you rip it off as you need it. What they do, they engineered a problem. Let's put it in a box that has batteries, that only if the batteries work, and only if you swipe your hand under it and the sensor works, and only if it's full of paper, and only if they have a key to the box, and not some special manager has the key, can they have paper. It's the same thing as fan motors. On an 18-wheeler, I have an air clutch. The clutch can wear out, but you're talking a lot of miles, 600,000, 600,000 miles, right? If you treat it right. Okay, Horton makes replacements, no big deal. You know, all of them do. Well, on a car, they said, well, let's put a electric fan in there with a servo and a relay switch and a fuse and some little wiring, and let's not do a good job of it. And then when the fan goes out, it'll burn up the whole motor, and you can't go nowhere. When it was a propeller that the whole engine just turned, and it may have nominal savings on fuel in the end if you don't blow the motor up early and have a head gasket failure, because they put an electric fan. See, that's the genius of these engineers nowadays that are engineering walkways that fall in and people die. Okay? They're engineering us to death. So who's the engineer that decided to put all of our power and water and communications, all of our comms, all of our power, all everything on the internet? And why? What is this magical link that it has to have, right? Does somebody have to update it with a picture of their kitty to make the power plant happy? No. We don't need to be connected to nothingness. A person goes in there and is the security guard. They need to be having a person sit behind the desk to secure the power. So if there's a problem, he can monitor it, he can make a phone call. There can be a redundancy system that's a backup system, just like a sprinkler. And if it gets too hot, it shuts something off, and then he has to manually turn it on or whatever. But don't hook it up to the internet so another country can get in there. How stupid are these engineers? Because I thought they were supposed to be smart, highly intelligent individuals. I thought they were supposed to go to college and have a degree, and then, oh no, they just, everybody wants their name on a plaque on the wall. Look, I'm the guy. Who's the guy? Name the person that said, hey, let's hook this crap up to the internet and see what happens, right? Now, we don't need to turn valves by hand. We need to go up there and we need to make it so the whole world, anybody with, you know, right now, anybody with about an 8th grade education can hack into one of these companies if you give them a computer in about 6 months. Russia's got programs that teach them how to decrypt. They got whole groups of people working on it. China's got something like 50,000 hackers. And they even wear a pin that's the CCP party on their shirt. They don't even hide it. I know the floor they're on and the building they're in China. The ones in Russia just do it from wherever, and the Russian government not only backs them, but gives them what they need and pays them. Same as those football hooliganisms that they try to run around. They have, that's what they call it. Oh, it's just football hooliganism. They send people who are rabble rousers, who fight, to soccer games in different countries and in their own. And then they just randomly hit people after the game to cause chaos. It's a mental stress kind of, some kind of psychological warfare thing that they think is good. This is what they do. Supporting that and supporting their hackers, that's what they're doing. Burying your head in the sand when the freaking price of plywood went through the roof and when the tires was fixing to go through the roof, all of that. And we're going to look at another supply shortage too. There's a lot that's being held up, but when they cut off the internet, your entire supply shortage, I mean, it's going to be, oh my God, all those people that call Amazon and Amazon can't, you know, you can't get on the internet. You'll be calling them and ordering them. They'll have to set up phone centers again to take orders. It's kind of crazy. So, people, I'm gonna get off this thing. You can leave a few comments. I'm gonna chill for a second, eat this salad here that I was attacking myself. I'm just attacking salad, and I'm attacking some news. God bless you, people. I hope you're doing good. Get you some tires, man, while you still can, while it's cheap. Because I ain't lying to you. You fix to find out. And aluminum, if you're trying to get some rims, aluminum's going through the roof. And they can't build these little trailers. Any kind of motorhome, camper, the lawnmower toters, any kind of little trailers that you can pull behind, bumper pull behind a car. They're starting to make them out of galvanized metal and all this stuff, and because the roofs were full of aluminum, it was great, but there's been aluminum shortage. So you would think they would pay more for aluminum cans at the recycler, but of course they're going to keep that low and, you know, buy low and sell high. But we're still in an aluminum shortage. It was odd for a while that socks, t-shirts, underwear, gloves, there was like a crippling effect for a while that the shelves were bare at Walmart. They've come back around a little. I'm not sure why. I guess that was just about a container ship. It don't take many container ships to shut us down, really, to cripple us a bit. So we need to be looking into maybe having several different ways of receiving goods, not just the cheapest way on a ship. And I ain't found, I was going to say especially because the way Iran attacks ships and oil tankers, but I haven't found a very recent update location of the Iranian ship that's going to attack us later that I have the knowing about, and that they did some stuff too to show it. I do know that there are some ships shadowing it. Our Navy had one shadowing it, and then another one, and then the oh man, Spanish Navy, Spain, had one shadowing it. But there was also a Russian, I believe, a Russian ship, and maybe even a Russian sub, that were kind of like, maybe they were posturing just to say, oh, mess with us or whatever. But it's like, it's almost like if there was, say there was someone who was the kind of person that would go and start mess with somebody, and then they had a big brother that would always be there that, oh no, you can't do, I don't care what he did, you know. That's what Russia's being. Russia's trying to be the little big brother for Iran right now. And oh yeah, I know they're evil now, but look, you can't mess with them because we're escorting them through the ocean. But we shadowed them anyway. So as far as I know, they're still over there. Give it till winter. Watch. So they have that tanker that they welded the flat plate on top of so that 5 or 6 helicopters could land on it. They have that one little, what I call fast attack helicopter for recon. They have the ones that normal nations that have normal governments and act like countries. We use orange painted Coast Guard helicopters for rescue. They took rescue helicopters that were previously planned to be rescue helicopters, painted them camo, and they're using them to drop troops out of. So they did that, along with seizing a French ship and everything else. But the tanker that they're on, that is a forward operating base, and so is the Sahand, or I'm gonna call it the Sahand's Revenge. Because we sunk the first Sahand. I did a video on that. But Florida, you know, middle of the winter I have to, because I need the light of God, but I've got the sunlight. You know what I mean? Need the sunlight, so I do go to Florida. But then, when it's a bajillion degrees hot, like right now, ain't nobody trying to go to Florida. And it's a good time to come out though, because you can haul produce. But I mean, I can haul produce all the time. But there's a certain time of year that, okay, you can buy watermelon up until the 4th of July in the stores, because it's in the stores up into that for the holiday. And then after that, they don't really want to even buy them for you to buy it. Well, it'd be great if they had it a little bit later, but at that point, it's more difficult to get loads because they don't have the supply of watermelon and nobody's buying it like that. So that's shut off. And then, so different types of year, different times of year, different types of products come out of Florida. There's a place called Matt Stone, M-A-T-T-S-T-O-N-E. If you're a flatbedder and you need a load, that's a good way to get out of Florida, is Stone. If you got an account with them, or if you can get an account with them, or if your company has an account with them. So I was flatbed hauling Stone when I come out of Florida, but now doing reefer unit, if they have, like, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff coming out of there. Orange juice, you know, it depends, like I said, on what kind of trailer you have. But right now it's so hot, ain't nobody trying to go to Florida. I'm in Texas right now. I'm not trying to go to even Texas. I've been staying Midwest. It's cooler. It's more set up for truckers. Like, this place is tight on parking. You see it's full right now. Yeah, so if they say, oh, we don't need parking, that guy just sat, he moved up, he ain't going nowhere. Look, he still can't find a parking spot. He's just hoping and wishing and praying, you know what I mean? Look, there's no parking, people. If you don't get in early, you ain't getting in. You got to get in where you fit in quick. So that's the thing. That's the thing. There's plenty of parking in the Midwest. There's the world's biggest truck stop up there. some people joked and said that that lady Allie Knight that got real big on YouTube or whatever had like a front row parking spot that was reserved for her or whatever. You don't even need reserved parking. There's parking. There's always parking. So you don't have to be famous. And I don't see nothing that says truckers stop park here. They ever do that, I'm gonna ask them, what would you know? How would you know if it was me? Anybody could use my parking spot. So, man, that was a banging salad. They now sell in the store. They now sell freaking Olive Garden salad dressing. I mean, you can't beat that. Buy some Olive Garden salad dressing, throw it in the fridge or your cooler. Woo! That was a salad. Now I got these Gourmet Gardens habanero stuffed olives. I can only eat just a couple of them, boy. It's just, I like habaneros with pickles and with some tomatoes, green tomatoes. But these right here, they make a, they turn a olive into a fire spot. Just saying, a dot of fire. And I need more ice for my cooler. So, yeah, that'll work though. Got the dressing cool. All right, so people, little update. You know, what do I know? I'm just a truck driver, right? Just dumb truck driver. They found out that their truck drivers are not so dumb because they tried to put people from countries that only understood like camels and raising goats and stuff. And as it turns out, it takes a little bit more than somebody can push a wheelbarrow to drive a truck. I moved that because there's somebody walking around here. So anyhow, let's see here. Potatoes and cabbage. Yeah, I ain't hauled potatoes in a good hot minute. But if you ever did haul potatoes, people, I'm gonna tell you this: if they put you up on the lift, when they lift the truck up and the trailer, turn your truck off and don't idle it. I don't care how hot it is. That's happened before where they've left them running and it blew the motor up because all the oil goes to the back of your oil pan. They lift up your 18-wheeler at a 45-degree angle. It starts out horizontal, like the horizon, on the ground, and they lift it up and up, and the trailer's at the back end. It's to let all the potatoes fall out of the back of the trailer. And so basically your truck goes up in the air at a 45-degree angle. All your oil goes to the back of the oil pan, and your engine blows up because it's like having low oil or no oil at all. Don't leave your truck running if you're hauling potatoes. I mean, I shouldn't have to say that, but it's happened a few times, and they're not going to buy you a new engine. You did that. I did haul cabbage. I have hauled some cabbage. They got cabbage in Georgia, goes Midwest and stuff. So goes a lot of places, but this dude just walked by. He's trying to be famous too. I'm really not trying to make people famous on here. I'm just trying to do live. Everybody wants to be in my live, except me. So yeah, I don't have any problem hauling cabbages. It's actually, that's good freight, except that it can be, those farms a lot of times won't allow parking overnight when it's cabbage, but up north they have parking overnight for everything else. Like, but in like the South, you know, I like to be parked at the shipper. I was just at a shipper. Man, that place, nobody would park there overnight. So they'll have the rims off your truck and the tail lights out and steal your reefer fuel and everything. It will all be gone. And I did see a review on Trucker Path of somebody that said somewhere between this time and this time they stole his reefer unit fuel. So watch for that. You know, watch for the reviews on Trucker Path is what I'm saying. That's what you want to know about where to park, because it's getting rough. But anyway, so I haul, like I said, I've hauled cabbages, but I don't like that in Georgia at that one place. They don't let you park on the facility. And the place I was just parked at, they closed on a Sunday at a certain time. And so I'm going to go back tomorrow morning and knock that out, and then go further, knock the next one out, they got on me, and then I'll probably be back in the Midwest again. So it's a lot cooler up there. Even on a hot day, the nights are cooler. In Texas, when it's hot in the daytime, it might even be hotter at night. Somebody turns up the heat or something. I don't know. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm more acclimated to the Midwest, whatever you want to call it, the Midwest. And I ain't trying to go to New York, because East Coast just holds you up. And that Jersey wall they built, and all the construction embezzlement of it all, they're just soaking up money at the top. They're not fixing the roads, they're just putting up that Jersey wall. And I think that New Jersey has incorporated some other states, because I've seen that Jersey wall way out into Illinois now. I think Jersey goes out to Illinois. So Illinois is now New Illinois Jersey. They've been incorporated or annexed like Crimea, and that's what happened there. Must be, because they got the same wall. So they've decided that it takes so long for construction, they need to build a wall so they can make more money, so they can say they're working on something. The government just needs to give them 1 mile and say, okay, you got 1 mile. Let us know when you're done. You know, north, south, east, west, every state, 1 mile of construction. Fix it, then come on back. Not 20 years of everywhere and everywhere. 1 mile. That's it. That's what I think. Because they're just holding up traffic, and they're doing rolling roadblocks. I think that's to slow commerce. I don't know what that's about, but that's the only thing that makes sense to me, is they're actually trying to physically slow commerce. That's holding people up. We ain't got time for that mess. So the rolling roadblocks, I don't know what kind of scientific test of, hey, let's see what happened. It's stupid. We're on a computer log. It's stupid. So yeah, so I'm just about out of things to chat about. Y'all go ahead and make some more comments, and I'm gonna get off this thing. But know that aluminum is already a shortage. Tires are fixing to be. Computer chips are coming back, and they'll have what they need for the cars. So used car prices should go down. If you wait just a bit, you get a lot cheaper. New car prices, they think everything's worth $50,000. I call that a house. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen when we wind up where the people can't go to work and they're calling in for work. What's wrong? I got a blown tire and I can't get a new tire. Right? So have you some spares, and do like what they do up north, people. You know what they do up north? The rich people up north have winter tires already set up on rims, ready to go. It's the greatest thing. They've been doing it for years. Just like they have winter suits, you know, the snowmobile pants. You can get them at Burlington Coat Factory. They're good emergency gear for a truck, so you don't freeze to death. But they have extra rims and tires. Watch what the people up north do, and you know, learn from it. They got enough money to keep their money because they know what to do with their money. If that makes any sense. So yeah, extra set of rims with snow tires on it is a really good investment, especially right now when aluminum has already been high, but there's still some new old stock of some rims, and the tires are fixed to go through the freaking roof. So if you already got them mounted, there won't be a 30-mile long line at Walmart or NTB or whatever kind of tire place that you use to put the tire on, right? It'd be already knocked out. I believe in some full-size spares, but I'm talking about a whole nother set, 5 of them, people, of some cheap snow tires. They got them as low as $60. The DAT1 Dexteros, that's one kind, but they only come in 235 15s, and then another size for 16 and 17. Go at it. Get at it, people, because it's good to have it now, and if they're supplying you now, they'll get stuff moved from the warehouses, and there won't be a crunch. Even though there's a shortage, it won't be a crunch because everybody waited to the last minute, and that make it even harder on the mechanics to change them. Go ahead and hit it up now. So here, let's see here, my friend, one second here, I got the sideways here, I'm gonna move it back. And we'll check this guy out who's waiting on the parking spot also. See, we don't have parking. Attention Congress, we don't have parking. So whatever kind of test they did, they lied. Let's see. My friend is on the border in Texas and town. And we speak with a pick tomorrow. Back to Virginia. She is tough. Let's see. Oh, pick up tomorrow and back to Virginia. Yeah, right. Well, I'm in H-Town, Houston, and then I'll be Midwest. You know, there's lots of spots all over Houston. Pick where you go though, because they talking about somebody stole that reefer fuel. I was like, I am not parking there. Let's see here. Oh, you said lost you. All I said was I was just reading the comment. I was saying I'm in H-Town, Houston, but there's lots of truck stops all over this place, and there's like I said, you got to pick where you go, because one of them takes reefer fuel. Let her know. You know, put that up there. Tell them about that, because it's on Trucker Path. That's at the top of the loop on Houston at the Loves. That one that said that they stole reefer fuel, said that the security there's a joke, and that it was somewhere between, I think he said 2 and 9 in the morning or something, where I don't know. They stole all of his reefer fuel. I mean, imagine if your load goes bad because they stole your fuel. For real? No, not having it. So you know, stay at the ready. High, ready, and vigilant. But where I'm at's decent, you know. And times are good, if you call it that, people, because we're all still alive. You know, I got 6 people in the room and 6 likes. And it's pretty awesome. I'm just trying to give you a heads up, people. I just tell it like it is. I got gifts I put out. I'm trying to teach what I don't know before I go. There'll be a day when I'm gone, and there'll be some dude broke down on the side of the road, and he'll be like, man, I found your video, this is the awesomest thing ever. I know you're gone, but you were awesome. So be awesome while you're here, people. And I'll tell you something else too I do is a backpacks for the homeless, but I found a cheaper way than buying the backpacks, because I was having a hard time getting backpacks for cheap. They want 20, 25, 50 bucks. Well, you can get a $1 shopping bag at Walmart, the ones that they want you to buy and reuse. Get you a couple of them. You can make one for a boy, one for a girl, you know, woman and man. And you can, for homeless, they'll make 5 or 6 of them. You can get some stuff from the Dollar Tree or Dollar Store, and you can get some stuff from Walmart. Get those little travel size shampoo and a travel size. I get the soaps from the truck stop. You take a shower at the truck stop, you ain't using that soap. I get it. I take it. Sometimes the guy in there, the porter, be like, hey, you doing that? Here's a few more, you know? And I'll make bags for the homeless, so they'll have soap and a washcloth, and they'll have like shampoo and, you know, whatever. I can get toothbrushes for like 4 for whatever. Well, that's $1. Fine, that's 4 people. And in the end, you only got like probably 20 bucks in it. But look at what you helped and all the people you helped. And so when you come to the red light and they come up, hey, can you help me in any kind of way? You hand them the bag out the window and say, God bless you. You ain't got to do nothing but here. And make them a list of what's in the bag on a piece of paper. Give them a notepad and a pen. They can maybe get some phone numbers and, you know, call somebody to help them out if they need, and they can have something to write on for if they get a job interview, whatever. You know what I mean? Help them up. You know, that's why I don't give them money, because yes, they could be on drugs, but if you're giving them stuff they need, it's not only money, but it's the trip to the Walmart that they can't get to because they're right there. And they're trying to hide from police that might arrest them just for being homeless, or from somebody that might hurt them just for being rude to them. There's a lot of hate out there. Another person that might try to rob them even though they got nothing, that kind of thing. If you give them stuff from the store, you know, some canned goods and stuff in there, a military can opener, whatever, you know, it's, and they need socks like crazy, you know, so it's cheap enough to go to a dollar store, get a few things, and then when you really feel the need to help someone, you got all these, you know, bags ready to hand them. And for the The female ones, you give them like secret deodorant. For the other ones, you give them like the Old Spice or whatever kind of, make it like, different. And you can get a pink bag so you can see the difference when you grab it. Have a blue and a pink right there. That's what you can do to make the world a better place, in case you don't know. I do it, it works. So, you're not supporting homelessness. You're trying to help people out of being homeless in the first place. They need a hand up. It's not a handout, it's a hand up. So, if you want to make a difference, it's just an idea. It's just what I do. It is what it is. I mean, I can't change the world, but those homeless people would give to you when you don't have. Better believe it. So, God bless you. I'm gonna get off this thing, people. I know y'all are. Some of you just now checked in. You can watch the rewind it, catch it back as soon as it goes live. I'll put up links tomorrow to the news about the rubber tree thing and all that. I'll even put up a couple of links to. I'll find something for Henry Ford when he tried to build a rubber tree farm and it went bust because you can't plant them that close together. Well, they planted them that close together, and there's a disease killing them, and we're gonna have a problem. Especially the airplane tires, because they burn them suckers when they land, man. They just, they burn them. I don't know how many landings you can get on the way they break. Man, they check them. So, and it can't get too hot. They had one that got too hot because of low air pressure, and they pulled it up into the belly of the plane. It caught on fire and burned the whole thing up, and it crashed. That was in some kind of a swamp. I think it was the Everglades of Florida. I remember that flight. It was a long time ago. I watched stuff like that. Because airplanes are designed to keep flying. They're not designed to crash. So if something happens, it's always a red flag. Always. You see a plane go down, something happened. Just automatically, something happened. You know what I mean? Like someone did something stupid to that good machine. Because that good machine is made to do that. It's not made to crash. Yeah. So. Anyways, I'm going to get off this thing, people. It's getting kind of warm. Gonna turn the air conditioning on and chill. Can't have an angel getting too hot, right? God bless you. Y'all stay cool. I'm out. Peace.